I would say that this is definitely one of the best places to just wander about and, you know, do your thing and see what you find.
And wander about to see what we could find is exactly what we did. In this video, we'll take you along for the ride to show you how you might spend a fun day in Corfu Town. Okay, we're on our way to Corfu Town today, but to get there we have to take the bus because we're in Benitses, which is this cool little kind of beach town. So yeah, we have to take the blue bus in, and we're pretty pumped. We got a full day planned. The bus ride into town is only €2.50 per person. And here's a quick tip if you're coming from Benitses. Walk a little south through town and jump on the bus there. It'll increase your chances of getting a seat. Obviously, we should have done that. All right, we're here in Corfu Town. It really doesn't take long to charm. Check this out.
We always like to get our travel engine running with some good coffee. Fortunately, Corfu takes its coffee seriously, so there are lots of great options to choose from. We chose Cafetierra, a popular little espresso bar slightly away from the bulk of tourists, which allowed us to relax and enjoy some very delicious flat whites. Our first sightseeing goal of the day was to tackle the old fortress, but not without some spinach pie first. A quick Google led us right to Starenio Bakery, a small little shop that does pastry very well, including their spinach pie. It was salty, hearty, and a perfect treat before the trek ahead.
I think that's so good.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Exploring the old fortress is really quite incredible, and despite its long history, it isn't some dusty relic. I mean, it kinda is, but the 15th century Venetian fort also feels like it could be used today. And in fact, it actually was used as recently as the 1940s when the Germans moved in after taking over Corfu.
Don't miss popping into the Church of St. George before you make your ascent. It's beautiful and restful, and a great place to get out of the sun for a moment. Getting all the way to the top in the midday heat was a serious climb, but the view from the top, absolutely worth it.
Okay, that was awesome. Steep climb though, and slippery rocks, so be careful. Although we didn't slip.
No, but we had to hang on to the railings with both hands.
That's super great. Welcome to Corfu.
Thank you. I like that.
After saying hello to the Durrells and having a proper wander through the gardens, we decided it was time to head deeper into the old town.
Much better. A little bubbly peach and mango. You don't always need like the perfect table. Sometimes just a nice little spot to lean in the shade is like the most glorious way to take a break.
The Church of St. Spyridon is a must-visit in Corfu. And while we were there, I couldn't help but think of that story of Margot Durrell catching the flu by vigorously kissing the slippered feet of the saint. His remains can be found in the small crypt in the church, but no cameras are allowed. Look, I found your size.
I always like to bring a little something home from our trips if I can, and you can get beautiful leather sandals in Greece. I'd read that Corfu Sandals has a great selection and helpful service. Both were true.
I might actually get them. I think we did okay. Love them.
We also had a chance to visit Land of Corfu, a lovely market selling Corfu-based body products and other artsy items. There are many unique things to see in Corfu, but one of the standouts has to be the Museum of Asian Art within the Palace of St. Michael and St. George. The collection goes all the way back to the 11th century BC and includes Chinese porcelain, Japanese prints, Indian sculptures, and much more.
Okay, the museum, it's a little bit of a, I don't know, it's like a surprising museum because you're reading about Chinese and Japanese art and you're seeing Chinese and Japanese art here in Corfu, and it feels just a little odd at first, but then suddenly you're like totally immersed in it, and then the space itself is outstanding. There are many rooms that are still kept up as they were, I guess, when the palace was a functioning palace of some kind. I don't know the history of it too well. Fantastic museum visit, and if you're here in Corfu Town, you definitely should go. It's worth it.
The food at Peperi, by the way, is totally worth seeking out. We went with one of our go-to orders in Greece, a salad, fava bean dip with some simple bread, and a half liter of the local white. Delicious. It's just been like really cool to wander around the town and just explore, and just how picturesque and beautiful it is, and these like ornate like balconies and beautiful shutters. Like, yeah, the facades on the buildings are just absolutely stunning, and it's like a new picture to take around every corner. And then the other thing that stood out for me is just how different of an experience this is to Benitses, which is the part of Corfu that we're staying in. So that's like this quirky, small, a little bit rustic beach town, and it's just completely different. So it's wonderful how like in one bus ride you can have a completely different experience on the same island, and both are equally amazing and delightful.
Even after a day full of stunning views, we had one more to do on our itinerary: cocktails on a rooftop. We chose the Cavalieri Hotel because we loved its vintage vibe. Rooftop bar opens at 6:30. It's currently 6 o'clock. We're just gonna kill a half hour in front of this monument. Could be worse.
Okay, here's how it works at the Cavalieri Rooftop Bar. You can pop in just for drinks, but if you do, you get placed at a table in the middle of the terrace, even if there are better tables at the edge available. Those are saved for people ordering dinner.
The cocktails are a little expensive, but they had one of my faves, the Americano, which is essentially a Negroni light. Campari, vermouth, and soda. Overlooking the old fortress from the roof of the Cavalieri Hotel was the perfect way to end our day in Corfu Town. Even the view from the toilet was a stunner. And make sure to check out our video from across the water in Albania, where we spent an amazing day visiting Butrint, one of the most important archaeological sites in the country.